Hi, I'm Jane and I steward the garden at the Church in Ocean Park. The Church in Ocean Park is a centre that welcomes people of all faith or no faith, and their commitment is to social justice in the community. So Pastor Janet was generous enough to give me the garden in front of the church to steward, and from that, combined with my studies with the Soil Food Web School, I am able to share my knowledge with the community, which is the aim of the church, is to help those out in the community. Chris is already a composter and a soil saver, and he just needs a little help organizing his system, that's all, to reduce the work and just make it more efficient and more effective for him as a family man and all his other responsibilities. He doesn't want to spend all his time doing compost. So that's what I'm here to do, just give him a day's work and get it organized into a system.
Cleared out this bin.
Okay, another one, great.
And I'm ready to set up.
Okay.
That is mostly pine from the tree in the front, the ficus.
Ficus,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, it's ficus leaves and pine needles mostly.
If we can help break down these pine needles, because they take a long time to break down. So let's see how they work.
Really rough. All right, well that's too hard. All right, well I think we should try the weed whacker method.
So what we're doing is refining this method. We're finding a way to make it less labor intensive. You weren't sure how much.
All right, let's try it.
We're making too much work for ourselves. I'm going to put the machinery aside. This is good for some things, but when we've got a big volume like this, we need to find another way. So we've tried the mulcher and we've tried the weed whacker to break down our brown materials, and it's not working that effectively. So we're going to let Mother Nature do her work. Chris's neighborhood cafe has kindly donated these coffee grounds. So we're going to make a space here under a tree where it's unobtrusive to anybody and just let the microbes do their work. And then Chris can take his browns from the bottom of that pile. So we've got pine needles. We've got some leaf mulch, as well as the pine needles in here. We've got these leaves from Chris's trees, persimmon tree and ficus trees. So what we're dealing with more is the volume of browns and greens that we have. So we want to have a place where they can start to break down on their own, and then we can take a bucket of that and put it in with his kitchen greens and make a quicker compost. The work that I'm working in is to assist Mother Nature, not impose ourselves on her, and to know her processes so that we can add to those. And then Chris won't have to do any more work. Nature will do the work for him. And starting to break this down, and he can take a bucket of this when he's making his compost and a bucket of his greens from the kitchen, and he's got his 50-50 mix.
The two major inflows are the coffee grounds now and the browns from the yard waste.
Right.
So I can combine those into this mulch idea.
Yeah. Now what we haven't got here is a lot of diversity. We do want to aim for diversity, but we're using the resources that we have without complicating it. So I would like to see other greens in here, but when he makes his compost pile, he will be putting in his kitchen greens, so that's more variety of greens.
All right, that seems good. Should we go fork it out over there?
Yeah. Chris's son Dash loves all things water and reminds us that even composting can be fun. We have done our work for the day.
Oh, good.
You want to see what we did
Yeah.
to Chris? So we started this pile down here for his browns and coffee grinds, so that now he has a place to put them instead of in paper bags. Mother Nature will start working on those, and he can take a bucket of those along with his greens and put them in his compost bin.
I was a little bit worried about what a mulch pile would look like in the yard, but it looks great. Looks like mulch.
We have a bin now that's just going to sit and cure, and there's still a lot of carbon in here, but Chris is just going to let it sit and it'll take care of itself.
Okay.
And that's what he'll use on the garden later on.
Okay. Covering it with cardboard to keep it moist in there.
Yes,
keep it from evaporating. I had 6 buckets of coffee grounds, and we got rid of about half of the brown yard waste, and all of the coffee grounds are now sort of like doing their thing like they're supposed to do. Yeah, this is fantastic.
And we added some moisture because they're a little dry in spots, so now we know that there are worms in there and it's doing its job as well. So Chris will just let that be. Chris is not putting anything into the city waste, which means he knows what's going into his own compost.
That's good. Yeah.
And I would like to present Chris with a thermometer. We need a thermometer for the compost to make sure the temperatures don't get too high, or just to monitor the temperatures. So for being a good soil citizen.
Wow, fantastic.
We want to test the temperature in the center of the pile. And because it's a static compost, he wants to make sure that it doesn't get above 131, or if it does get above 131, to turn it. And it's really important not to get beyond 160. If it's 160, he really does need to turn and put some chimneys in to aerate it, because he'll start producing alcohol. The organisms will start producing alcohol, and we don't want alcohol in our compost.
Bye, Chris.
Oh, bye, Tim. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
A big thank you to Julie Rusk, founder of the Civic Wellbeing Partners of Santa Monica, and her fabulous team for the microgrant that allowed us to make this short film.